Hello and welcome, I'm Stormo, and you might be wondering what game this is. Well, it'll become clear pretty much as soon as that feather hits the water, I hope. Well, there you go. It is in fact Tales of Symphonia, and we're running the Gamecube version of it. I know there's a PC version of this now. I don't have it. I do have the Gamecube version. This is actually running in Dolphin, primarily because that's the only way I have actually capturing Gamecube footage right now, although I do have a real Gamecube and a real North American copy of this game, in fact, because I imported it when it became clear that this game wasn't going to come out in Australia. So I'm going to start a new game, which I believe I have to press that button to do. Do I want to change game settings? Yeah, maybe? No, none of these buttons are working. That's right, the skits. Yes, we'll do that. Battle control type. I think semi-auto is the default, and yeah, we'll leave that. And I'm not even sure Dolphin supports the rumble feature, but I'll turn it on anyway, just in case it does. And stereo sound, obviously. Looks like it's going to run okay, but there might be some issues with frame rate, I'm not sure, so this movie might stutter a little bit.
Once upon a time, there existed a giant tree that was the source of mana. A war, however, caused this tree to wither away, and a hero's life was sacrificed in order to take its place. Grieving over the loss, the goddess disappeared unto the heavens. The goddess left the angels with this edict. You must wake me, for if I should sleep, the world shall be destroyed. The angels bore the Chosen One, who headed towards the tower that reached up unto the heavens. And that marked the beginning of the regeneration of the world.
Okay, yeah, regeneration of the world, all that kind of stuff.
Lloyd Irving, wake up!
Oh boy, and I forgot about the voice acting in this game. I'm so sorry. This game does not have one of the better voice acting efforts.
Lloyd!
But it's still pretty fun. It has its own charm, so...
Ah! How do you manage to sleep standing?
Oh, Professor Rain, is class over?
Never mind. Let's have someone else answer the question. Genus, how about you?
Yes, Rain. Mythos the hero brought about the end of the ancient war in the holy ground of Karlan.
Correct. Afterwards, Mythos the hero formed a pact with the goddess Martel to seal away the Desians whom caused the war.
But the Desians came back and are now causing everyone to suffer.
We covered that in class last time, remember? When the seal weakens, the Desians reappear, just like they have now.
Yeah, I knew that.
Today is the day of prophecy. It is a very important day, which the Chosen of Mana will receive an oracle from the goddess Martel. Now, Chosen One, Colette.
Yes, ma'am?
Tell us about the journey of world regeneration.
It is a journey to seal the Desians. Upon passing the trials of the goddess Martel, the summoned spirits that protect the world awaken, and mana is restored.
Correct. I suppose we should expect the Chosen herself to know the answer to that one. Mana depletion is the cause of the current food shortages and droughts. It is said that this occurs because the Desians consume vast amounts of mana in their human ranches. The Chosen's journey has two purposes: to revive mana, as well as defeat the Desians. Now, for the next question.
What was that?
That's...
Settle down. It would seem that the time for the oracle has come. I will go and check on the chapel. Everyone stay here and study on your own. Understood?
Professor! I'll go with you.
No, Colette. If it is the oracle, the priests will come here for you. Wait here with everyone else.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you might be wondering why we're doing Tales of Symphonia as part of a retro thing, and the answer is that this is the game I bought a Gamecube for. When the Gamecube was first announced, I think, apologies for the noise on the microphone there, I just bumped it slightly. When the Gamecube was first announced, or sometime between its first announcement and its launch, this was one of the games that was announced for it, and at the time I'd played Tales of Fantasia on the Super Nintendo, but I had no idea there were other Tales games, because, well, none of them came out in Australia, and in fact Tales of Fantasia I only played because of the translation of it that happened at some point. When was that? Well, at some point in the early 2000s there was a translation patch. Not a great translation. There was an official Game Boy Advance release later on that had a much better translation, but nonetheless there was a translation patch for it, and I played through the whole game using that, and I thought it was one of the best RPGs I'd ever played to that time, and I couldn't wait for a game that was apparently its sequel. I wasn't really paying attention to the conversation there, but we'll do that. Anyway, but then, as it got closer and closer to launch, it became clear that this game wasn't actually going to come out in Australia. It did eventually, but only, I think it took about a year after the North American release for this game to actually come out here. And I ended up importing it. It was one of the first video games. In fact, I think Tales of Symphonia was in fact the first video game I actually imported. And I imported it along with, I think it was called a freeloader at the time. It was like this extra disc you could get that you put into a Gamecube, and it would basically allow the Gamecube to run games regionless. However, at the time I had this huge problem, which was that we had this shiny new widescreen TV. This was back when that meant a CRT. Yeah, it was one of the old widescreen CRTs. And the problem with it was that it couldn't properly handle PAL 60, which was a problem because PAL Gamecubes can't do NTSC signals. Like, for whatever reason, Nintendo decided that the video circuitry in them wouldn't be able to do proper NTSC. It was the PAL Gamecube has a different video output chip to the NTSC Gamecube, and it can only do PAL and PAL 60. And unfortunately, because of the nature of this game, it won't run in a 50Hz PAL mode because, of course, it's an NTSC game. But the freeloader allows NTSC games to run in PAL 60. And this was really important back at the time because back then, of course, you had the problem with a lot of games when they were released in PAL was that they ran slower than they would if they were on the NTSC version, because PAL runs at a lower frame rate. It runs at 50Hz, not 60Hz. But at some point, I don't know the exact technical reasoning behind this, I've never really researched it all that much, but at some point someone invented a thing that was basically PAL but with NTSC frame rates, and it was called PAL 60. And it allowed you to have a PAL signal but with a 60Hz refresh. I can't remember what you lost because of that, but I'm sure you lost something important. Anyway, so the problem I had was that my TV couldn't handle PAL 60. It was a dual format TV. A lot of TVs back then could handle both PAL and NTSC, but for some reason this TV couldn't handle PAL 60, which meant that playing this game on it was a nightmare because there was this flickering section at the bottom of the screen. Like, the whole screen drew correctly, but about the bottom, say, let's say 20% of the screen was just this flickering mess. And you had to put up with that. Like, the actual display stopped before that, so you got the full frame that the game was drawing, but you then had this flickery mess underneath it that was sort of really distracting and annoying to play. But I ended up having to play the whole game with this because our TV couldn't do PAL 60, and it was the only way I could play it. So this is actually the first time I've ever played this game without a distracting glitchy thing underneath, although that's not true because I actually went back through this game on the Wii. When I got a Wii later on, I went back through and played this for a bit on that. But for the most part, yeah, this was the way I experienced this game was really glitchy and bad. Anyway, I haven't really been paying attention to the story, but basically, yeah, designs are bad, and we're probably going to fight some very shortly. And you'll get to see the combat in this game, which is really cool. But yeah, this was the game I bought a GameCube for pretty much when it was first announced, because I love the look of it, and I knew that it would be cool because Tales of Fantasia is easily one of the best games on the Super Nintendo, or I suppose technically Super Famicom, because it never actually came out in the West. So, but yeah, it's easily one of the best games in that system. And like I said, at the time I didn't know that Tales of Eternia or Tales of Destiny existed, because they'd never been released outside of, I think they came out, one of them came out in like, was it Tales of Destiny came out in the US? And then Tales of Eternia didn't, or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, and this I think is actually only the 4th Tales game. Unless I'm missing one. No, there was a Tales of Destiny 2, wasn't there? So this is the 5th Tales game, I think. But yeah, so there's actually a sequel to this game, which I also own on the Wii, which I've never played. I don't know why, I just never got around to playing Tales of Symphonia 2. But I do have it, and I bought it one day just because it was there, and I thought, oh yeah, I'll get around to playing it, and then never did. So I should actually fire that up and have a go at it. I've got a Wii U lying here. I can probably put it in that and have a play, and see what it's like. Anyway, so it's, anyway, I'm not entirely sure what all that was about, but yeah, stuff's happening. Looks like Dolphin's holding up pretty well with this game, which is nice, as we wander around the village. And let's face it, this game does look pretty fantastic, and it's held up really well. Anyway, let's, ooh, that was odd. Oh, and this, I think this is the first game with the skits that the Tales series had. They're not in Fantasia, and maybe they're in Eternia. I'm trying to remember if I saw any of them in Eternia. But I can't remember if they were introduced in this game or if they were introduced in Eternia. And a save point. Yay, let's, memory circle, yes. Yes, and of course, being Dolphin, we're emulating a save screen, so we'll go slot A, no data, yep, there we go. Save successful. And I think Dolphin, yeah, I was going to say Dolphin will pop up a message about that. Speaking of which, we now have to fight a skull. Except it's not really a skull. But anyway. So we get to look at the battle system in this game, which is a really fun battle system. The battle system is, of course, the reason everyone loves the Tales games, I think. Because they certainly don't love them for their story. Anyway, yeah, so the battle system's really fun. It's a real-time system. You run in, do your slashes. You try and build up big hit combos, which wasn't a thing in Fantasia. It became a thing later on. And then they redid Fantasia for the Game Boy Advance, and that introduced the combo thing a bit better than it was on the Super Nintendo version. Yeah, X-Sphere. That's right, there was this whole thing about X-Spheres in this game. I forgot all about that. But yeah, and we're about to fight another skull. I'm kind of skipping over the dialogue because I just sort of want to get on with it. But I suppose feel free to pause if you want to like read it. But there's not that much to read, and it's coming up on the screen. Yeah. So, because that's the other thing you can do. You can actually control different characters. And I can't remember if this game is
You're going down.
the one that let you. One of these games lets you use. I think there's a mode where you can have another person controlling one of the other characters, like a 2-player or maybe even a 3 or 4-player. Like you can actually have everyone in battle, like 4 people controlling. I can't remember if that's a thing in this game or if I'm remembering something else. It is. I'm sure that's possible to do that, but I can't remember if it's in this game or maybe it's one of the later Tales games that I've played where it happens. Anyway, we'll head up to field. Yes, because we're actually going towards a temple, and this is the field map. And there's another skit here. I like getting all the skits because they're pretty funny. And you get this cool sort of anime style. Because the whole point of this game was this I think was the first Tales game to use a cel-shaded style as well. They hadn't really done that before this. Obviously, Fantasia being on the Super Nintendo uses sprites and everything. Really well-detailed sprites. Has some of the best 2D artwork on the SNES, actually. And then I'm pretty sure the PlayStation games just sort of use 3D. Whereas this game, they took advantage of the much more powerful graphics hardware in the Gamecube to create a... monsters. So you can get a sort of jump on a monster by... Oh, Lloyd taking the damage. And yeah, you can get what was I going to say?
Just as I expected.
Completely forgot what I was going to say. Oh, that's right, you can get a surprise hit on the monsters by running into them from behind, but there's no sort of attack button or anything like that, like there is in, say, Final Fantasy 13, where you can actually like attack to get an advantage on the The other thing you don't have in this game, that you do tend to have in modern RPGs, is that your health doesn't recover between fights, so you do need to manage your health through multiple fights in this. And that's the thing you had to do with old RPGs. It's only really the last few years that RPGs have sort of taken that out. Like Final Fantasy 13, your health doesn't matter outside of combat and stuff like that. So you're getting a good look at the battle system. I'm not really doing it right because I've got you can sort of use the that's right. There's C-stick combos. That's right. I've got to remember that I can use the other analog stick.
Wasn't your day.
I knew there was a reason to that. Oh, and cook X. Yes. Successfully prepared sandwich. Yes. There's this whole thing where the enemies give you like food items and stuff. And at the end of a battle, you can press a button to cook stuff. Let's go into the Martel Temple and see what's up. And yeah, visually, I think this game's held up really well. Like, we're playing the straight Gamecube version. This isn't the remastered PC version or anything like that. That's why it's in 4:3. But it still stands up. Like, I'm not using... I could actually clean it up a lot nicer in Dolphin. I could turn on a lot of effects and stuff. But I sort of didn't want to do that. I sort of wanted it just to be as close to what it would have looked like on original hardware as possible. So that's why there's no anti-aliasing turned on or anything like that. Like, it's relying on the Gamecube's own internal anti-aliasing. The only real thing I'm doing is upscaling to 1080p, which I probably should be using some kind of smoothing or something just to fix that up. Like, there was an option, I think, for FXAA. The main thing I had to do actually was set the game to render, or set Dolphin to render in DirectX 11, because apparently Dolphin renders into OpenGL by default, and Shadowplay doesn't capture OpenGL. So that was fun. But I figured that out, and we're rendering in DX 11. And it's come up quite nicely. Like I say, I could probably clean it up a bit more, but I don't seem to have to. And Dolphin seems to be handling the game well. Didn't handle the opening movie so well. It turns out that the old, I think it was called ADX, the video codec they used to use on these things. The old ADX video codec is a bit resource intensive, I guess. So, anyway, things are not going well. So, I love the look of this game though. It's such a nice, colourful game, and it's one thing to talk about too with this game is that it came out at a time when Japanese RPGs were in a bit of, I guess, a malaise type of thing. Like, Final Fantasy VII came out in 1997, 96, 97, thereabouts, and it seemed to sort of set this trend, and everybody decided that their next RPG was going to be their take on Final Fantasy VII. And so, for years, every RPG had to be this dark and intense thing, and it had to try and emulate Final Fantasy VII. And even Square Enix did it, or, well, Square, they weren't Square Enix back then. Even they did it with Final Fantasy VIII, which was basically their attempt at being Final Fantasy VII, even though they'd already made Final Fantasy VII. So, I don't know how that works, but they sort of fixed themselves with Final Fantasy IX. But yeah, everyone was trying to make RPGs that were like these deep, meaningful things. They weren't, and I guess that what they forgot about was that like RPGs should actually be fun. And I don't think Final Fantasy VII could ever have been accused of actually being fun. I mean, it might be a great game. It's considered a very great game. I don't like it all that much. I've not played a huge amount of it, I admit, but played the very first part of it, and yeah, didn't get into it. Didn't play beyond that. Didn't like it. Maybe it gets better later on, I don't know. But this game came out, and this game in a lot of ways is very much a return to the older style of RPG that was popular on the Super Nintendo, where you have much younger main characters, like these are all teenagers, and stuff like that. And I think we have to go too, because I think that's terrible. But yeah. Dwarven Vow, that's right. Because there's some weird thing with Lloyd having dwarven heritage or something. I've forgotten the exact details of it, but yeah, he does this whole thing about dwarven vows. I actually really like the characters in this game too. Like, Lloyd is actually a fairly likable character. I mean, he's a bit of a he's a bit of a goofball and stuff, but you know, he's actually smart and
Where is the Chosen?
Anyway, there's talking, so I'll shut up for the moment.
Run, Colette.
Lord Boda, there she is. Chosen one, your life is mine.
I won't let you Desians get away with anything!
Desires?
What's so funny?
Well then, die at the hands of the Desians you so hate. Get them.
One thing I am noticing a little bit, actually, and maybe I should have turned something on to clean it up, is that there is a little bit... Oh, whoa. Doesn't Janus heal? If he could heal, that'd be great.
There!
I might at some point. Actually, I think the cooking automatically recovers some health, doesn't it? Yeah. I can't remember exactly how that works, but... one thing I did notice is there's some slight blurring on the line work. Oh boy, this could go badly if I don't heal.
Do not get in our way.
Okay, I need to... do I have a healing item that I can use on Void? Yes, I have an apple gel. Right, okay, that should help. That's right, Void can block too.
Don't even try it.
This
Okay.
guy's strong.
Yeah, but we can beat him. Oh, wait.
This guy is
I remember
really
this part.
tough.
I know what happens now. Yes. Excellent.
Who are you?
Get out of the way.
So yeah, there's a slight, a weird sort of blur that's happening that I'm seeing, which I'm not really happy about. Oh, I got healed. Good. So yeah, Janus does heal, that's right. I forgot that he's a healer. Well, he doesn't have a lot of health, so... doesn't have a lot of mana, I mean. Just got stunned. Good. Oh, but yeah, he'll do first aid on me as well.
Don't overdo
Nice,
it.
but I don't think it's going to help because we're taking a lot of damage.
Don't overdo it.
Oh! Anyway, yeah.
Don't overdo it.
He's a really cool character. Won't say more than that. Oh, Lloyd. Taking one damage.
Don't
Just
overdo it.
wait for some heals.
Damn, what a worthless one.
Demon Fang.
Don't even try it.
There we go. We got him. Nice.
I lost to a bunch of kids.
Yeah, well. We had help from a really cool character, actually. Let's get that cooking. Successfully prepared sandwich. Yay. There are recipes, I believe, you can find as the game goes on, too. So.
I never thought you'd show up. Damn. Retreat for now.
Amazing!
This guy's incredibly strong.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Oh, Lloyd.
Is everyone all right? No one seems to be hurt.
Is that an X-Sphere?
Yeah, wow, Colette looks super blurry,
How
doesn't
can I
she?
ever thank you for saving the Chosen?
I see. So this girl is the next Chosen.
That's right. I have to go accept the Oracle. Grandmother, I'm going to undergo the trial now.
What trial?
The monsters, I assume. An evil presence radiates from inside this chapel.
Yes, that is correct. The Chosen is to receive judgment from heaven. But the priests that were to accompany her fell at the hands of the Desians.
Then I'll take on the job of protecting Colette.
Lloyd, I would be uneasy with just you.
Your name is Lloyd?
Yeah, but who are you to ask for my name?
I am Kratos, a mercenary. As long as you can pay me, I'll accept the job of guarding the Chosen.
Under the circumstances, I have little choice. Please be of service.
It's a deal, then.
Wait, I'm going too.
Lloyd, you'll only get in the way. Be a good boy and wait here.
What did you say?
Did I not make myself clear? You're a burden. Go home.
Mr. Kratos? Would it be okay to take Lloyd along too?
But
Please. I get nervous when Lloyd's not around.
do as you wish.
Kratos is great.
Let's go, Genus.
What? I'm going too?
Of course.
This isn't a field trip, you know.
Yeah, Kratos is great. He's a really cool character.
Thanks, Colette.
They all are. I love the characters in this game. I love this game. It's a really
It's
good
the
game. It's possibly the best Tales game, actually. I mean, well, it's probably between this and Fantasia. Of the ones I've played, and I have played a few of them over the years, but I think this one stands up really well. It's really good fun. And it just... I was playing... I've got Tales of Xillia. In fact, I've got Tales of Xillia too, and those games are just so... Blair, you know, like, there's no... They just feel so generic, and they're like... It's like someone had this sort of template Tales thing that Tales games all must adhere to, and they actually do. There's like this very specific template that all Tales games adhere to. But what makes this game stand out, what made Fantasia stand out, well, what makes Fantasia stand out is the technical achievement on the SNES hardware, with like the actual vocal song in the intro and all that crazy stuff that it's got going on for it. What makes this game stand out, I think, is that it's this really sort of... It came out of a time, like I said before, where most RPGs were just trying to be really dark and sort of... They were trying to invent something new, whereas this game was very much a throwback to an older style of RPG. Like, it throws back to things like... I'm just trying to remember if that's a thing I should be looking at right now. How to navigate the menus. Yeah, that's right. So I can look at that and, yeah, battle techniques and stuff, yep. Okay, yeah, so I know what that does. Okay, let's back out of here. I may not play for much longer, actually. Okay. So we need a Sorcerer's Ring. Back this way. I probably shouldn't play for much longer, though. Because...
Let's get started!
just time. Oh, wow. Oh, cool. We got heal. That's right, because Kratos is actually a really good healer too. And we're gonna need all that healing. Probably should... Okay, I'll do it after this battle. I should probably spend some gels. Just to get everyone's health and mana up. So we'll do that.
Just as I
We've
expected.
got a magic lens, so that's nice of us. Oh, that's right, you recover mana after battle in this game too, don't you? You recover a small amount of mana. Items, yes. Look at our apple gels. We only have a couple, which is not great. So I think one to Lloyd and one to Jess, and an orange gel to my healers. Oh, I only had the one orange. Oh damn! I forgot I only had one orange gel. Oh well. Anyway, I may not go much further.
Take them down quickly.
So, don't overdo it. So, but yeah, and this game came out, it was really different, like, it had a much younger cast, and very much more traditional storyline, I guess. And that made a much more sort of engaging game compared to what was going on at the time, and for me it was sort of, I think it was the game that let me sort of reconnect with RPGs. Like, this and the other game would have been Skies of Arcadia on the Sega Dreamcast, which I also had. In fact, I've got that on the Gamecube as well, and that is a fantastic game. Maybe I should make a video about that. Well, maybe I will make a video about that, because it is a fantastic game, and it's such a shame that it's never had a sequel, or it needs like a modern HD remake, or something. It just needs something, because it's such a good game. But so it was basically this game and that game. It's sort of re-engaging with RPGs. I'm just noticing there's a bit of oddness with the analog stick there. So you can see Lloyd sort of walking on his own there. That's just the analog stick being weird. There's a cutscene. Oh, that's the ring we need, the Sorcerer's Ring. Yeah, okay. So we need to find that, but we're probably not going to do that. We're probably going to just leave it here after this cutscene. Fight this golem thing. We're going to do now.
This is gonna be tough.
Oh! Ow, 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 ow.
Don't overdo it.
I seem to recall that Lloyd's moves are based on, that. Okay, that was easy. That's what I love about this game, is the fights. It's just so fun. And you just go in and smash enemies. And trying to do the same thing in Tales of Xillia, and it just doesn't feel like there's something about the combat in Tales of Xillia that it doesn't have that this game does. And I can't put my finger exactly what it is. It just doesn't feel right. Is the best way to say it. Oh, that's right. This game is full of block puzzles. I forgot about that. Well, we're not going to play much more. So, but yeah, and yeah, this is. Like I said, it's probably the reason I got a Gamecube, and it's the reason I play RPGs. It's one of the reasons I play RPGs. Oh wow, we're going to fight another one, are we? Okay, we're not going to fight that. We're going to leave it there, and yeah, we're going to... Well, this is Tales of Symphonia. Nearly said Tales of Fantasia, but yeah, this is Tales of Symphonia. It's one of my favourite RPGs, and certainly one of my favourite Gamecube games. And it's a really fun game, and you should... I know the PC remake has some issues, and if they fix those, I definitely recommend picking it up. Hopefully they do get patched. But yeah, I'm playing the Gamecube version primarily because it's the version I knew and loved as a kid. So yeah, so thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.